morning students. Welcome to your English grammar classes. Hope you are keeping fine at home. So let us take our first chapter of your grammar book, which is a sentence. Every day we express our thoughts in a written as well as in a speaking way. The words which are arranged in such a way that make a complete sense, it is only a sentence. So let's start with the definition. A sentence is a group of words which are arranged in a particular order to convey a complete sense. The words which are arranged in a particular order which makes a complete sense is a sentence. To understand it more deeply, let us take one example. We all wish to live a happy life. Here in this, we can see the sentence is made up of verb, subject, predicate, pronoun, etc. So there are some rules of the subject. First of all, a sentence is always begins with a capital letter. We always study that when we start a sentence, it begins with a capital letter. Secondly, the words used must be in a definite order. The words which are used in a sentence must be arranged in a definite order to make it complete sense. Next, punctuation marks, that is full stop, question mark and exclamation mark must be used at the end. To make a complete sentence, it is necessary to follow all these 3 points. Here, now let's take the kinds of sentences. There are mainly 4 types of sentences: assertive sentence, interrogative sentence, imperative and exclamatory. Now first of all, let us take the assertive sentence. Assertive sentence which express a statement, or a true statement and ends with a full stop are the assertive sentence. For example, the girl drank a glass of juice. It expresses a complete sense and expresses a statement as well as ends with a full stop. Secondly, interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences ask a question. Whenever we ask something, what, why, whatever, that is the interrogative sentences and always ends with the question marks. For example, what is your name? Then here we are asking what is your name? And at last question mark is applied. Next, imperative sentence. Imperative sentences are those sentences which expresses an order or a request. And ends with a full stop. Then don't confuse with the assertive and imperative sentences. Let us take the difference first of all. Assertive sentences expresses only the statement, whereas imperative sentences expresses the order and a request. And ends with a full stop. For example, do not talk so loudly. So this is an order that do not talk loudly. And lastly, exclamatory marks sentences. Exclamatory sentences are those sentences which expresses a strong feeling and ends with exclamatory marks, which expresses strong feelings like happiness, sadness, excitement, etc. For example, what a lovely child. And at last we have to apply exclamation marks. So, followed by this, let us take our next topic, which is subject and predicate. Our sentence is separated by the 2 parts which are subject and predicate. So let us see the subject. What is subject? Subject. First of all, the sentences can be separated into 2 main parts, which are subject and predicate. So first of all, let us take the subject. The subject is that part of a sentence about which something is said. Here, she is a subject. The subject is that part of sentence about which something is said. About something is said. It is always a noun or a pronoun about whom we are talking. It is always a noun or a pronoun about whom we are talking. In simple sentences, we can say the question who, about whom. About whom we are talking is the subject. About whom we are talking is the subject. A simple way of finding out the subject and predicate from a sentence, first of all, we have to identify the verb. We have to identify the verb, and according to that, we have to answer the question about whom the verb is indicated. For example, she waters the plant regularly. Waters. Who waters? She. Then the subject she is mentioned in the sentence. Secondly, predicate. The predicate is that part of a sentence which tells something about subject, which expresses the verb of subject is the predicate. Let's come back to our example. She waters the plant regularly. Here, she waters the plant regularly. If we see this point, it refers to the verb together with the rest of the sentence. Together with the verb with the rest of the sentence. Here, verb plus rest of the sentence except subject is all our predicate. So here, it expresses what about the subject? What about the subject? So here, the predicate is that part of the sentence which tells something about the subject as well as it refers to the verb together with the rest of the sentence. But there are some exceptions. For example, always the subject does not come in the beginning of the sentence. Sometimes it comes in the last of the sentence. Sometimes it is not even mentioned in the sentence. And sometimes it comes in the between of the sentence. For example, if we take the examples, example first, in that jungle lived a lion. In that jungle lived a lion. Here we have studied that first of all we have to identify the verb. And according to that, first of all we have to answer that about whom we are talking. So here, about whom we are talking? A lion. So here, a lion is a subject and rest of the part is predicate. So here, we have seen that subject is not coming in the beginning, it is mentioned in the end. Secondly, if we see this, go there. Here we can see that subject is not mentioned, but it is understood that subject we are talking about you go there. So we have to add it by ourselves. It is understood. Followed by the second example of the same, thank you. So I thank you. These are the examples of imperative sentences. Here, subject is not mentioned, but it is understood that we are talking about a particular person and we have to add by ourselves. Here, thank you, I thank you. And here, go there, you go there. And here, thank you, I thank you. Secondly, how beautiful she is. About whom we are talking? She. About whom we are talking? She. So here, she is the subject and rest of the part is the predicate. So, now our next topic is phrases and clauses. Phrase is a group of words without a subject and a predicate and makes an incomplete sense. The main thing is which makes an incomplete sense. Here, the words or a group of words when they are separated from the rest of the sentence cannot make the complete sense. Here, it means depends on other words in a sentence to do so. Such a group of words is known as phrase. For example, the boys were playing in the field. This is a complete sentence. But if we separate if we separate it from the rest of the sentence, it doesn't make any complete sense. In the field, there is no subject about whom we are talking. Secondly, if we see the next example, we will go out for a morning walk at sunrise. At sunrise, if we separate it from the rest of the sentence, sunrise, then the same thing is also there. At sunrise, nothing. It makes no complete sense. Secondly, clauses. A group of words which contains a subject and a predicate, and it is a part of a sentence. Both phrases and clauses both are the part of sentence, but the main difference is it does not make any sense and it makes a complete sense after separating from the sentence. If we take the examples, Neha, who is very pretty, got married last week. Here, if we separate who is very pretty, if we take who is very pretty, then it contains a subject as well as the predicate. And the same thing we have studied in the definition also, contains a subject and a predicate, and it is a part of a sentence which make a complete sense. Secondly, the boy whom I met yesterday is my friend's brother. So whom I met yesterday, if we separate this one, then whom I meet yesterday makes a complete meaning. So here it is a clause.